Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus from Hostaway, and in 10 minutes, I'm going to help you decide on whether you need a direct booking website for your vacation rental or rentals. First of all, it's great that you got your properties up and running, and it's great that you got good publicity on many big websites such as Airbnb, Verbo, Booking.com, and probably a few local tourist sites. You want to check out those too. But getting your own website is a project that many people keep putting off, and many people have tried, and it doesn't really pay off. So first of all, you hopefully have such a nice place that you'll get repeat customers. And while using OTAs gives you access to some very low cost marketing, there are advantages to having direct bookings. One of them is that all your guests who've been with you, or who stayed with you, they may want to come back. It's the easiest way you can do marketing, and we actually have a partner called Stayfi who can collect all the email addresses from your guests, not only the people who booked, and you can send out emails to get your website. Now, to actually set up the website can be super simple. You can use any PMS. I would recommend Hostaway, of course, where it takes you about 15 seconds because you need to choose a title and you need to choose a background image. Everything else is automated. Now, if you have a property that's either a unique type of property or it's in a unique location, and by unique I mean that it's limited. It's not a massive city that has unlimited amount of properties, but perhaps it's nearby a lake with maybe 200 cottages, and you happen to have just one of those. In that case, setting up your website to be correct for the search terms can bring you organic traffic. Organic traffic means that you are not paying for anyone to visit your website. In fact, when they type in the name of the lake and maybe a vacation rental, maybe cottage, maybe a few other nice words, maybe pet friendly, when they type it into Google, they will find your website. And that can be extremely powerful. Now, the third way you can market your website that you can't really do when it comes to using an OTA as your main listing site is you can go into different groups or conversations or even websites. So, for example, that nice cottage on that nice little lake, I'm sure there's an agency that promotes tourism within the area. Now, they're going to have a website, and that area can be that lake, but it can also be the municipality, even the state. Contact the owners of that website. Their job is to promote tourism to your region, so they will be very happy to feature a link to your website. Another example can be interests or hobbies. I live in Canada, and there's an expression here called being a snowbird. That means that during the cold winter months, you go down to a place in the south, and you're essentially a snowbird. Now, the community is pretty tight knit because there's a lot of Canadians that go to the same places all year round. But one thing that the snowbirds have in common is they tend to either rent or, in most cases, actually own property down south. And they may never list these properties on the big travel websites because they prefer to rent them to friends and family. Now, for that purpose, and they actually rent them to other snowbirds too, a website is a perfect way to create the credibility of not being fraudulent, because there's a lot of fraud in the industry, but at the same time give a good impression to the visitors. So if you have a location or a property that might appeal to a certain demographic or a certain group of people, or has some interest in the area or the type of property, for example, if you happen to have a glamping website, I'd say, or sorry, glamping site, you should definitely put up a website because people are searching for glamping right now. It's the hottest thing in vacation rentals. Now, when it comes to getting these bookings on your direct website, you need to be vigilant. You need to see who are the people booking and how did they find you. Now, usually it's pretty straightforward. First of all, if you set up a website with a random title, let's call it luxuryrentals.rightnow.com, I can guarantee you that anyone who's out there to fraud you will simply not find it. because it's too generic. Just type in luxurious rentals on Google and you'll see what I mean. Your website will be on Google result page number 999, which means nobody will ever find it. However, the people that you advertise this website to, they can be your repeat guests, they can be your friends, they can be your family. Just put it on your Twitter feed and put it on your Facebook page and say, hey, here's my rental. What do you think? And I'm sure you'll find friends who come and book it. Now, one of the main concerns we see from property managers and property owners regarding having your own website is that they're terribly afraid of the guests. But I'd say, once again, that depends completely on how you market it. If you go and market it heavily to everyone who's online, I'm sure you'll attract some fraud. But if you do market it to specific groups, then it's very easy to vet those people. And what makes things even easier is that your own website can charge a credit card. Now, in order to make sure that everything goes well, you simply can put up any terms you want on your website. And this is very different from using an OTA, where the OTAs has certain demands from the property owners and the property managers, but they also have certain demands from the guests. For example, they need to verify their ID and so on. But you can do all of that yourself. So you can even advertise or put a text on a website that says anyone who books needs to provide an ID, they need to sign a rental agreement. The credit card used for booking needs to match the name on the ID, and the person who has the credit card and ID needs to be present at the time of check-in. Even if someone miraculously found your website for fraudulent purposes, that sentence alone will send them away. And especially after the booking, if you set up a message automation that repeats this message, I'm sure it will go smoothly. You'll remove 99% of any troubles. Now, the nice thing though with having your own website is that you also get to set your own terms and your own fees. So, for example, if someone is planning to stay with children, you can upsell them on services that parents need. For example, you can rent out a crib, and that's super simple using your own website. It's not so easy using a major OTA. Same thing with goes for pets. You can set your own rules. If you want to charge an extra fee, maybe you want to charge for parking, maybe you want to charge for bringing firewood, which you would provide anyway. But you can add extra fees as you want, and you can also have the terms very well written. A security deposit for not cleaning is so much easier to enforce when you do it through your own website, because you are the judge and jury based on the rental agreement. And if all of this sounds like a lot of work, it really isn't. It's really as simple as signing up for any PMS. Once again, Hostaway can get you started in just 15 seconds. But I would strongly recommend you to build a website. So let's repeat. If you have a property that's unique, either in the way it is or the location, in the sense that it's limited. Maybe it's around some wineries, maybe it's around a golf course, anything that people would generally be interested in. If you're nearby a famous beach that people visit from all around the world, well, that's very good keyword to use in your rental, because when people search for that beach and they add the word rental or vacation rental or even Airbnb there, they'll find your website, and that will bring a lot of traffic. Now, when should you not create a website? I think if you have a property manager that is already doing all of these things, probably you won't need a direct booking website. If you have friends and family who want to stay at your vacation rental, they can just book directly with you. They can send you a text, they can give you a phone call. But if you want to market your place to people who you don't necessarily know, for example, you might know your friends, you might know your family, but do you know all of your friends' friends? If you don't, the website is the right way to share your property with your friends' friends. Because by giving a link to your website to your friends, they can share it on. And that means that you can get a lot more direct bookings. And keep in mind, those extra fees do add up. So, yeah, if you want to see how it works, go right in on hostaway.com. See you later. Good luck.